Hey there, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I'm creating a layout today using some products from Jenlee Schoolcraft where I make pretty crafty things, and so can you. I'll talk a little bit about her in a little bit. So the one thing I wanted to point out, you see how that 12 by 12 piece, I got that from a pad. Isn't that so annoying that the notch is right there? I wonder if that's the reason why that pad was so cheap. Anyhow, let's get to what I'm really here for. So I got this product. It's a little 6x6 paper pad by Stamperia called Alice Through the Looking Glass. And it has some beautiful papers, which you can see right here. And also the fun thing is they have a lot of little cutouts and things throughout the pad. Some of images of the different characters. Some have little quotes. And then the fun thing is on the back side of all these, there is like a blank one. So you'll see these as I'm cutting out these tags. Now these I'm calling tags, but they're little pieces. I thought I would cut all of these down. I'm not sure what I'm using yet, but I thought if they're readily available, I'll be able to just kind of grab and go. I didn't cut out any of the character images yet because I really wasn't sure what I was going to use. And again, I'm not even really sure what I'm doing. The one thing I did know is I decided to cut this blue paper down to 11 by 11, which means I did an inch off of two sides. Obviously the one side is the one with that little notch. Again, so annoying, but I was going to cover it somehow with the other pads, or the 6x6 pad, but I decided matting it with the white paper on the bottom, or framing it with the white paper, was a better idea. Also gave it just a little bit more interest to the page. A lot of times I'll gut the bottom layer, so in this case the white cardstock, but that cardstock that I bought, it's not really that thick, and the blue paper also was not that thick because it was on a pad. I want to say it was like a Martha Stewart one, which I don't want to throw her under the bus, so if it's not, I'm sorry, Martha, you're my girl. But again, both kind of not thin like pattern paper thin, but too thin where I thought it wouldn't work out well if I decided to gut. Plus I have a lot of white cardstock. So right now the photos that I'm using, I know what I'm using, I just haven't printed them yet. So that is why I cut out those 3x4 pieces of white cardstock, just kind of as a placeholder. Now you notice that that one is all notched out and not exactly 3x4. I figured at this point it works, but you're going to notice later it kind of bothers me and I'm going to cut out another 3x4 to cover it. But anyhow, right now I'm just kind of playing about what am I going to do? Like I said, all those little tags, what am I going to do? How am I going to put it together? But before I did that, I thought, well, maybe I need to adhere the pieces that I know are going to be where they are, which in this case happens to be that 11 by 11 piece of blue. And honestly, people, it's not really a blue, and it's not a teal. I mean, I want to say aqua, but there's so many different shades of like aqua, teal, turquoise, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't sure what to call it, but it really matched well with that pattern paper. So I'm putting these 6x6 papers down, but you notice how there is a little sliver right there in the middle, and I'm kind of mad about that. I wish I would have butt that up and then trimmed it over there on the like right or left side, but I didn't. So I am going to have to cover that because it's annoying me. But you'll see how I do that in just a minute. So just really quick, I'm going to talk about Jenlee Schoolcraft and the website or web store that she has available. So folks, this is a budget-friendly site with full of crafting materials, and those vary from, well, scrapbooking pads, embellishments, stamps, dies, ribbons, wow, you name it, she's got it. And the reason why things are so inexpensive is because a lot of these items are new in the sense that they've never been used, but they may have been retired by a certain company, or maybe somebody had them at one time and then realized they're never going to use it. And so these are the kind of things that when I say new, not latest and greatest, and then also some slightly used or gently used, however you want to describe it. And what I mean by that, and folks, I'm sure you have just as many as I do. I know I do. I'm going to raise my hand up on that one. Is, you have a stamp set which you love, but you used it once and it's sitting in your, in your stash. That's what you would call gently used. You used it once, twice, maybe even up to a dozen times, but it's still in great condition. So those are the type of products you're going to find. And when you go to the website, it will indicate whether it's brand new or if it's been gently used. So you won't get fooled or anything like that. Another thing too is like with enamel dots, I've gotten some that are gently used and there may be like 2 or 3 or maybe, a few missing. but it still has the majority. But instead of paying, $4.99 for a pack, you're paying $1, that kind of thing. So definitely worth going over there and checking out. Also, if you use my first name, Dorleen, and I'll have the spelling in the information box, you'll get an additional 10% off your order. So that's a great deal as well. So I'll have a link to her website in the information box, as well as a link to my blog and my Instagram account, or anything else I feel like you need to know. But so I mentioned that I have photos of my granddaughter that I'm going to be using on this. Now, the funny thing is the photos have 0% to do with Alice in Wonderland. They're actually her eating some pickles for the first time. She was like 1.5, 2, something like that. And she wanted to eat them. We were taking them out for something. And folks, she loved them. The reason why I decided that I thought it went with this paper, or my mind around it, is kind of the Unbirthday theme, right? So these are like her favorite. She loves pickles. She's 3 now, loves pickles. Those are like her favorite things. So in my mind, I'm thinking, happy Unbirthday, right? She got a little treat and she loves them. So now that was her Unbirthday present. So I'm just showing you right there. I printed these pictures and realized I printed 2 the exact same, which is fine. I have like 6 pictures of her because we wanted to get her. We thought she was going to have this like totally bitter face expression, because if you've had pickles, they're a lot. I mean, I love pickles, don't get me wrong, but for a little baby, it was surprising. And then this little quote, which I absolutely love, it says, "I can't go back to yesterday because I was a different person then." I use that because I feel like, right, she tried something, she loves it, now it's her absolute favorite. And she is that much different than yesterday. So it's kind of silly, but I thought it worked, because I had the hardest time thinking, how am I going to use this pad? Because I didn't want to cut up that 6x6 paper too much, because it's gorgeous. I mean, you can tell just by looking. And so to cut it up would, for like a card, I felt like I was missing some pieces, or I would be missing some pieces. So I thought, I'm going to think totally out of the box, and I think it works. And I think that's the fun thing about using products or themed products not for what they're intended to be for. I thought this was a perfect example. So anyhow, I hope you agree, and if you do, give me a thumbs up or let me know in the comments, girl, you tried too hard on this one. That's okay. So what I decided to do is I did add some color to it. So you notice I add the same light yellow to the border around the journaling circle. And then I thought, okay, I need to add this yellow one more time so it doesn't just seem so random. Now, the strip that I'm putting, now if you're looking at this, it looks like there is a 12 by, about 3/4 inch strip of paper there. But because everything hides it, and all I did, and you saw me, I notched off a little bit and tucked it under the photos and the embellishments, just enough to where it does literally look like that full strip, even though it's only just like, maybe an inch or 2 worth of paper right there. So that's a good tip too. If you forget something, or maybe you love a certain piece of paper, but it's not large enough to go on your entire page, you can cut it up and just kind of tuck it in. And as long as all the edges are covered, you're good, girl. So there, I'm just trimming off the little edge there, but this is basically it. But then I decide, well, let me grab some enamel dots and some other little fun things that I have. And silver butterflies probably don't really go with anything, but I really like the silver, and who doesn't love a little glitter? So I put some butterflies here and there. I also put some of that same kind of aqua color enamel dots here and there, and then some yellow hearts. And I think that pretty much finishes it. I didn't do my journaling yet because I'm still not really sure how I'm going to say it. And since it's kind of a small spot, I wanted to make sure before I just started writing. But basically, I'm just going to say exactly what I was talking about earlier, how much she loves pickles, and this was her Unbirthday surprise because of it. But I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do try to post at least 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking. The other is whatever it is I'm making in the command center, which happens to be the name of my blog and also my craft room. So again, if you're interested in paper products or just really any kind of crafts, check out the Jenlee Schoolcraft website. Link is below. All the information you need is below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And in a few seconds, you're going to see a really kind of slow-mo of the layout, a little bit more closer as I'm just scrolling through and showing you all the highlights. But this was all part of the same paper pad, well, except for the enamel dots and such. And I like to call this a paper pad party because, again, all of the stuff or all the party elements were from one paper pad. And so when you hear me say paper pad party in other videos, that's what I mean, because a lot of pads do have embellishments, quotes, something that's suitable for a title, and in this case, it's Happy Unbirthday to You. And again, all of the fun embellishments from Alice in Wonderland, which seems so random, but it works. It works in my opinion. Thanks again so much for watching. Bye.